Okay, so our progress report says we are at stage 4, paragraph page 278. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and our last headword was swimming pool, newer type of lesson. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's
Yeah.
start with our revision. Okay, let me just scroll down. Okay, here we go. First question. Do we always use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action? Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action? Yes, we also use
We also use
the
the
present
present
perfect
perfect
to talk about
to
the
talk
result
about
now
the result
of a
now
past action.
of a past action.
Wait, have you eaten too much food today? Have you eaten too much food today? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't
I haven't
eaten too much
eaten
food
too much
today.
food.
Very good. Has everybody come to the lesson today? Has everybody come to the lesson today? Yes or no?
Yes,
Everybody
everybody
has
has
come
come
to
to
the
the
lesson
lesson.
today. Very good. What do too many and too much mean? What do too many and too much mean? Too many and too
Too
much
many and
mean
too
an
much mean
excessive number or
the excess
quantity,
or quantity,
and therefore
and
not a good
therefore
thing.
not a good thing.
Where do children feel ill if they eat too many sweets? Do children feel ill if they eat too many sweets? Yes,
Yes,
children feel ill
children feel
if they
ill
eat
if
too
they
many
eat too
sweets.
many fruit sweets.
Very good. Do you agree there are too many people in the world with too little food to eat? Do you agree there are too many people in the world with too little food to eat? Yes, I
Yes,
agree.
I
There are
agree.
too many
There are
people in the
too
world
many people in the world
with too
with
little food
too
to eat.
little food to eat.
Very good. Are you too short to touch the ceiling? Are you too short to touch the ceiling? Yes,
Yes,
I'm too short
I'm too
to
short
touch the
to touch
ceiling.
that feeling.
Do you think a millionaire has too much money? Do you think a millionaire has too much money? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think a
I think
millionaire
a
has too much
millionaire
money.
has too much money.
Wait, if people eat too much, do they feel bad? If people eat too much, do they feel bad? Yes.
Yes,
If people eat too
if people
much,
eat too
they
much,
feel bad.
they feel bad.
Wait, if you work too much, do you feel tired all the time? If you work too much, do you feel tired all the time? Yes.
Yes,
If I work too
if I
much,
work too
I
much,
feel
I
tired
feel
all the time.
tired all the time.
Very good. Okay. At what age did you begin school? At what age did you begin school? I began
I
school at
began
the
school
age
at
of
age of 7.
7. Very good. Which do you think is the best age for a person to get married? Which do you think is the best age for a person to get married? I think the
I
best
think
age for
the
a
best
person
age
to
for
get
for
married
person
is
to get
about
married is about 26.
26. Very good. I did it when I'm 21, very early. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Which do you think was the best age in history to live in? Which do you think was the best age in history to live in? I think
I think the
the modern
best,
age or
the more
modern
current
age
modern age
was the best
is,
age in
was the best
history
age
to live
in
in.
history to live
Live
in.
in. Very good.
Live in.
Do people sometimes marry too young? Do people sometimes marry too young? Yes. People
People
sometimes
sometimes
marry too young.
marry too young.
Very good. How much does the average meal cost in the average restaurant in the place where you live? How much does the average meal cost in the average restaurant in the place where you live? The average meal
The
cost
average
about
meal costs about one 1,500 yen
in the average restaurant
in the average
in the
restaurant
place where I
in the
live.
place where I live.
Very good. What's the average number of hours a day that people work in your country? What's the average number of hours a day that people work in your country? The average
The
number of
average
hours a
number
day
of hours
that people work
a day
that
that
people
people
work
work
in my country is
in my
about.
country is about 9 hours.
Very good. About how many floors has the average building in your street got? About how many floors has the average building in your street got? The average
The
building in
average
my street
building
got
of
about
the street got about
7
7
floors.
floors.
Very good. Okay, next. Is this piece of paper thick? Is this piece of paper thick? No,
No,
that piece of paper
that piece
isn't
of
thick.
paper isn't
It's thin.
thick. It's thin.
Wait, is your book thinner than the glass in the window? Is your book thinner than the glass in the window? No,
No,
my book isn't
my book
thinner
isn't
than the
thinner
glass in the window.
glass of window.
It's thicker.
It's it's thicker.
Thicker. Very good.
Thicker.
What words can we use instead of the word large and small? What words can we use instead of the words large and small? We can use
We can
the word
use
big and
the
little
word
instead
big
of
and little
the
instead
words
of
large and
word
small.
of uh,
Instead of the
instead of
words
the words
large and
uh,
small.
large and small.
Very good. Do we generally say littler and littlest? Do we generally say littler and littlest? No, we
No,
don't
we
generally
do not
say littler and
generally say
littlest.
little and littlest.
Very good. What do we use instead? What do we use instead? We use
We use
smaller and smallest
smaller
instead.
and smallest instead
Well, why? Why? Because they're
because
easier to
they're
pronounce.
easy. It's easier to pronounce.
Very good. Pronounce. One more.
Pronounce.
Because they're easier
So they're
to
easier to
pronounce.
to pronounce.
Very good. Is Switzerland a bigger country than India? Is Switzerland a bigger country than India? No.
No,
Switzerland isn't a bigger
Switzerland isn't
country than
large
India.
country.
Bigger country than India
Uh, the Switzerland
isn't a bigger country
isn't a bigger country
than
than India.
India. It's a smaller country
It's a
than
smaller
India.
country than India.
Very good. Is that a little room you're in? Is that a little room you're in? Yes or no?
Uh, yes.
This is a little
This
room
is a
I'm
little
in.
room I'm in.
Very good. What's the difference between a purse and a wallet? What's the difference between a purse and a wallet? The difference
The
between a
difference between
purse and a
purse and a
wallet
wallet
is that
is
women generally have
women
purses,
carry normally.
generally have
Women
purses,
generally have purses,
and men
and
generally
men
have wallets.
generally have the wallets.
Wallets generally have
Wallet.
wallets. Very good.
Men
But
generally have
yeah,
wallets.
but in Asia we just call it wallet, right? Very good.
Yeah,
Okay. What does a man carry in his wallet? What does a man carry in his wallet? A man carries
a
his
man
cash
carries
and cards. His
cash and
cash and
card
cards in his wallet.
in his wallet.
Very good. Do you ever lose your money? Do you ever lose your money? Yes or no?
Yes,
I sometimes
I
lose my money.
sometimes lose my money.
If you lose your way in a large city, what do you do? If you lose your way in a large city, what do you do? If I lose
If I
my
lose my
way in a large
way
city,
in a
I
large
ask
city,
a policeman.
I ask policeman.
Weged, which do you think is worse to lose, your keys or your purse? Which do you think is worse to lose, your keys or your purse? I think
I
it's
think
worse
it's
to
worth
lose
to
my
lose my
my
keys.
keys. Very good. What's the opposite of the verb to lose? What's the opposite of the verb to lose? The opposite
The
of the
object
verb to
of the
lose
verb to lose
is to find.
to find.
Very good. If you find something in the street worth a lot of money, what do you do with it? If you find something in the street worth a lot of money, what do you do with it? If I find
If
something
I
in the
find
street
something in
worth
the
a
street
lot of money,
or that of money,
a lot of money,
a lot of money,
I
I will
like take it to the police station.
I will take it to the police station.
Station. Very good. How do you feel if you lose something and then find it again? How do you feel if you lose something and then find it again? I feel happy
I feel
if I
happy
lose something
if I lose
and then
something
find it
and
again.
then find it again.
Very good. Okay, next. Do you find English easy to learn? Do you find English easy to learn? Yes or no? Yes.
No. Uh,
Yes. I find
yeah,
English
I find English
easy
easy
to
to
learn.
learn.
Very good. Do you find maps difficult to read? Do you find maps difficult to read? Yes or no?
No,
I don't find
I don't
maps
find maps
difficult to read.
difficult to
I
read.
find them
I
easy to
find
read.
it's
Easy to read.
it's easy to read.
Very good. Do you get angry very easily? Do you get angry very easily? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
get
don't
angry
get angry
very
very
easily.
easily.
That's good news. Very good. What kind of things make you angry? What kind of things make you angry? The kind of things
The kind
that
of
make
things
me
that
angry
makes angry
are when
is,
things
are
go
the
wrong. When
things
things go wrong.
go
When
wrong
people are
when people
making too much
are
noise,
making too much noise
etc.
and etc.
Very good. What do you do when you're angry? What do you do when you're angry? When I'm angry,
When I when
when
I'm
I'm
angry,
angry, I
when
I
I'm angry, I'm become quiet.
Very good. Do you feel hungry at the moment? Do you feel hungry at the moment? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I don't
feel
feel
hungry at
hungry
the
at
moment.
the moment.
What do you do when you feel hungry? What do you do when you feel hungry? I eat
I
when I
eat when
feel
I
hungry.
feel hungry.
Very good. Okay, next. Which do you prefer? Fish or meat? Which do you prefer? Fish or meat? I prefer
I prefer fish to
to meat.
meat.
Can you swim? Can you swim? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
can
can.
swim.
What does it mean to swim like a fish? What does it mean to swim like a fish? To swim like a
The swim
fish
like a fish
mean to be
means
a strong swimmer.
to be a strong swimmer.
Very good. Do you prefer swimming in the sea or in a swimming pool? Do you prefer swimming in the sea or in a swimming pool? I prefer
I
swimming
prefer swimming in the sea,
than in a
in the
swimming
sea,
pool.
than
Very,
swimming
very good.
pool.
What do we call the two ends of the swimming pool? What do we call the two ends of a swimming pool? We call
We
the
call
two ends
the
of a
two ends
swimming pool
of a swimming
the
pool
shallow end
shallow
and the deep
and
end.
deep end.
Very good. Okay, and that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Very good. Okay, let's start. Repeat. Dream, dreamt, dreamt.
Dream, drum, dream, dreamed,
Wow. Dream,
dream,
dreamt, dreamt.
dream, dreamt, dreamt.
Very good. Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Very good. Okay, listen. Dream is a verb. It means to have thoughts in your sleep. The three forms of dream are dream, dreamt, dreamt. We call a bad dream a nightmare. Okay, so let's practice. Do you dream very much at night? Do you dream very much at night? Yes or no?
No,
I don't dream
I don't
very much
dream
at night.
very much at night.
Yeah, me neither. What do we call a bad dream? What do we call a bad dream? We call a
We
bad
call bad
dream a
dream.
nightmare. What are the three forms of dream? What are the three forms of dream? The three
The
forms of
three forms
dream
of
are
dream
dream,
are
dreamt,
dream,
dreamt.
dreamt.
Very good. What did you dream about last night? What did you dream about last night? I dreamt about.
I dreamt about.
Did you dream last night? Yes or no?
No, I
I
didn't dream.
dreamt about nothing last night.
I I dreamt about
About
nothing.
last night. Me too. I don't usually dream. Okay, next. Repeat. Garden.
Garden.
Very good. Again, listen. A garden is a noun. It is a piece of land next to a house where there are flowers and other plants. Let's practice. Have you got a garden at home? Have you got a garden at home? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't got
I
a
haven't
garden at
got
home.
at my home.
Well, because you live in the city. Very good.
I
Next, repeat. Refuse.
refused.
Very good. Okay, listen. Refuse is a verb. To refuse means to say no to other people. For example, my sister asked me to help her clean the house. I said no. I refused to help her. No, very bad, brother. Okay, let's practice. Do you ever refuse to help other people? Do you ever refuse to help other people? Yes or no?
Yes.
I sometimes
I
refuse
sometimes
to help
refused
other
to help
people.
people, other people.
Yeah, very good. Next, repeat. Separate.
Separate.
Very good. Okay, listen. Separate is an adjective. It means different. For example, I write my dictations in this book and not in this book. I write my dictation in a separate book. Another example is my parents live in Cebu. I live in Manila. I live in a separate place from my parents. Let's practice. Do you write your dictations in a separate book from your other books? Do you write your dictation in a separate book from your other books? Yes, I
Yeah,
write my
I write my
dictations in a
dictation
separate
the,
book.
from
Eh,
the separate.
from I write one more. Yes, I write my
Yeah, I
dictations
write my
in a
dictation
separate book
in a
from
separate
my
book
other
from
books.
other books.
Very good. Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Yes or no?
Yes,
I live
I live
in a
in a
separate house from
separate
my
house from
parents. Very good. Next, repeat. Lovely.
lovely.
Very good. Okay, listen. Lovely is an adjective. It means beautiful or pleasant. For example, my friend is a beautiful girl, or we can say she's a lovely girl. I had a pleasant day yesterday. Or we can say, I had a lovely day yesterday. Okay, let's practice. Give me an example of the word lovely. Give me an example of the word lovely, please. I
Yeah.
had a
I
lovely
had
holiday
lovely
last year.
holiday
He's
last
a
year.
lovely person.
She is a lovely
The
person.
weather's lovely today.
Weather is lovely today.
Very good. Okay, now let's learn about the word keep.
Keep.
Very good. Okay, keep. Okay, repeat. Continue.
Continue.
Very good. Okay, listen. The verb keep has many different meanings in English. Some of them are, okay, let's start with the first one. Continue, keep plus ing. Okay, listen. If we use the word keep with a verb with the ing, like a gerund, we mean to continue doing something without stopping or do it again and again. For example, it's very bad for the health to keep eating. So it's like the using the word keep plus a gerund, keep eating after our stomachs are completely full. So it means continue eating. Like other examples are keep walking, keep running, keep sleeping, keep working. Okay, let's practice. Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Yes, I
Yes.
agree. It's
Agree.
very bad
It's
for the health
really
to
bad
keep
for health
eating
to keep eating
after our
after
stomachs are
our,
completely full.
our stomachs are completely full.
Very good. Okay. Next. Next meaning of keep is have in a place. Oh,
Having a place.
very good. Okay, listen. Another meaning of the word keep is have in a place. For example, I have my pen in my bag. So it means I keep my pen in my bag. So I have my pen in a place in my bag. Let's practice. Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse or a wallet? Let's use a purse. Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse? I don't keep my
I
money
don't
in
keep
my
my
pocket.
money in my
I use a
pocket. I
purse.
use a purse to keep my
Very
money.
good. Okay, next repeat. Not give away.
Not give away.
Very good. So listen, another meaning of the word keep is to not give away, but you keep it for yourself. Keep. It means to not lose or give or sell something. For example, I don't give my books away after I read them. I keep my books after I read them. I put it on the shelves. Okay, let's practice. Do you keep books after you read them? Do you keep books after you read them? Yes or no?
Yes.
I keep books after
Books
I've read
that
them.
I read them.
Very good. Next meaning of keep is stay.
Stay.
Stay. Very good. Okay, listen. Stay is another meaning of keep. For example, I have to stay warm. Okay, I have to stay warm on a cold day. Or I have to keep warm on a cold day. Let's practice. What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? The best way to
The
keep
way
warm
to keep warm
on a cold day
on a
is
cold
to
day
wear
is
a thick
to
coat.
wear a thick coat.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. One,
One.
you,
You.
we,
We.
they,
Oh.
they
They.
mean
They. Men.
in general.
In general.
Very good. Next, necessarily,
Necessarily.
in particular,
In particular.
ticket.
Ticket.
Very good. Okay, listen. When we use the words one, you, we, and they, we sometimes mean people in general, all the people in the world. The word they means other people and not us. For example, if I say, if one goes to the cinema, one must buy a ticket. So one means everybody, people in general. I can also say, if you go to the cinema, you must buy a ticket. So not you, but all the people. Or we can also use, if we go to the cinema, we must buy a ticket. Okay. As an example of they, we can say, they don't sell food at a clothes shop. So what we mean if they are the vendors. In general is another way of saying generally. Necessarily means intentionally. Mean means to say or do something intentionally. In particular means to be specific. For example, when I say, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket, I don't necessarily mean you in particular, but people in general. We generally use the word you more than one or we. Okay, so let's practice. What do we sometimes mean when we use the word one, you, we, and they? What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? When we use the
When we use
words
some
one,
words, one,
you, we, and
you,
they,
we,
we
and they,
sometimes mean
it sometimes
people
means
in general.
people in general.
Very good. In the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence,
And the sen-
if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence,
and the
if
sentence,
you want to
if you
go
want to go
to the
to
cinema,
the
you
cinema,
have to buy a
you
ticket.
have to buy a
The word
ticket.
you doesn't
The word you,
necessarily mean
it
me,
doesn't necessarily mean
me in particular,
me in
but
particular,
people in
but
general.
people in general.
Right, which do we generally use the most? One, you, or we? Which do we generally use the most? One, you, or we? We generally
We
use
generally
you
use
the most.
you the most.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to our reading.
Yeah.
Very good. So our reading is at stage 4, paragraph page 218. Last headwords was obtain, fetch, doctor. Okay, start with the fourth question. Which animal do we get milk from?
Let's see.
Stage 4,
18.
218.
18.
Okay, and the headword was obtain, fetch, doctor,
Okay.
and start with the
Well,
fourth question. What animal? Oh, which animal?
which animal do we get milk from?
Hmm.
We get milk from a cow. Will you go and get a pen for me from the next room, please? Yes, I'll go and get a pen for you from the next room. When children are young, do their parents get them from school each day? Yes, when children are young, their parents get them from school each day. Will you get that book from the table and give it to me, please? Yes, I'll get that book from the table and give it to you. Get to reach. Uh, what time do you generally get to school for your lesson? I generally get at school at 8 a.m. for my lesson. What time do you generally get home at the end of the day? I generally get home at about 7 p.m. at the end of the day. What are the general meanings of the verb get? The general meanings of the verb get are become and become and obtain. If you are not sure when to use get, what is it better to do? If I'm not sure when to use get, it's better to use the other verb with the same meaning. Is there a picture on that wall? Yes, there is a picture on that wall. Was there a picture on that wall 3 lessons ago? Yes, there was a picture on that wall 3 lessons ago. Were there any books on the table last lesson? Yes, there were some books on the table last lesson. Was there a chair in that corner during the last lesson? No, there wasn't a chair in the corner during the last lesson. Were there any chairs on the table last lesson? No, there weren't any chairs on the table last lesson. What's the opposite of the verb to live? The opposite of the verb to live is to die.
Hmm.
Do most people die before they are 100 years old? Yes, most people die before they are 100 years old. When did President Kennedy die? President Kennedy died in
60.
1963.
Mm,
Next page.
strong.
Yeah. Is whiskey a weak drink? No, whiskey isn't weak drink. It isn't a weak drink. Weak drink. It's a strong drink.
Hmm.
Are young boys generally physically stronger than men? No, young boys aren't generally physically stronger than men. They are generally physically weaker than men.
Very
Do you
good.
speak
Okay.